From the High Definition Production Center of Troy University's Broadcast and Digital Network and Troy campuses around the world, this is Troy TrojanVision Weekly.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision Weekly. We're glad you joined us. So let's look at what's happening in and around Troy University. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. Well, Troy University Student Government Association spent last week exploring ways to educate the campus about diversity and inclusion through events that culminated with a panel discussion. Lydia Williams shows us some of the topics discussed.
Troy University's Student Government Association held a student panel discussion on Thursday night about the experiences from several minority groups, including the LGBTQ, international, and African American students on campus.
Well, this was our first year actually doing the Diversity and Inclusion Week, so hopefully this could become an annual event that we do every year so that we can just make it grow.
The discussion panel was a way for students to come together to discuss the problems that they face within the university and in the community.
I got to see a lot what the international students go through about how they want to connect with other students here on campus and how they don't feel welcome or don't know how to go about making friends here on campus. So I got to see how, some of our international students came to, get interacted here on campus.
And some students had a few ideas of how we can come together and break the stereotypes, isolations, and the social injustices on campus.
And that could even start with something tangible like going to a kind of a group meeting, maybe an organization on campus, maybe sitting by someone different in class that you're not used to sitting with and just asking them their name simply, seeing the kind of vibe you get and seeing if you want to start a conversation. It may not be that where you have to walk up into a large group of people and just assert yourself, but maybe there's a small group of people and you just ask and see if you can sit with them for lunch.
With this being the first diversity and inclusion panel, SGA hopes to make this an annual event. Lydia Williams, Troy TrojanVision News.
Troy University's Confucius Institute was established to help teach Chinese culture to Alabama residents, and apparently it's living up to that goal as it's once again been recognized as one of the best Confucius Institutes in the world. Adoria Hughes has the story.
The Confucius Institute at Troy has been recognized for its many achievements, being named one of the top Confucius Institutes worldwide.
In 2017, we received the Confucius Institute of the Year in 2017. And, all over the world, there are altogether more than 500 Confucius Institutes. And we are one of the 25 Confucius Institutes that won this honorable prize.
The Confucius Institute provides Chinese language and cultural education and forging economic development opportunities between Alabama and China, as well as cultural training for area businesses and members of the public.
Confucius Institute is an institute for just promoting Chinese culture and providing some non-credit courses to Troy students. Okay, and not only to the Troy students, but also we want to serve the state of Alabama.
The Confucius Institute also offers an exhibit for students who want to learn more about the Chinese culture.
The more people wanted to know about the Confucius Institute, the more they will come to visit our exhibition hall to have all kinds of non-credit course, and the more they will know that in fact the Chinese culture and the American cultures have so many things in common. That is what we want the people to know. We are within a big family and we share so many things in common, and we can just improve ourselves, okay, through the cultural exchanges.
Adoria Hughes, Troy TrojanVision News.
The President of the United States is often considered to be the most powerful leader in the world, but what are the limits to presidential power? The topic was on the minds of Troy University students during their lunch hour on Wednesday. Paige Weeks has the details.
Can the President of the United States order a nuclear strike? How much power does the President have? These were the questions being asked in Wednesday's Talk of Troy meeting. Students and faculty members met to discuss presidential power and its limits.
One of the critical parts of governance in a democracy is that you have informed decision makers at the level of the voter. The more people know, I think the better decisions and the better accountable political actors can be held.
According to Todd Hunter, one reason for Americans' lack of government and political understanding may stem from a complicated constitution.
A lot of the Constitution and subsequent laws don't provide concrete answers for the problems that we have and the questions about things like executive power.
An understanding of government and its subsequential power can be beneficial not only to political science majors, but every major as well.
Whatever industry you work in or whatever career you choose is going to be affected by federal law.
Talk of Troy offers students a chance to not only learn about government, but also strengthen their own arguments and ideas.
I like the fact that we have a teacher, like an expert on the field, that comes and explains, so we can be sure about our arguments, or at least what we learned in the past. And then it's very interesting to share our thought and idea on the current events.
Troy University students had a chance to hear an out-of-this-world lecture on Tuesday afternoon, finding out how responsible stars are for what is around us every day. Lauren Harkson has the story.
Many may remember learning about the periodic table in high school, but have you ever wondered how those very elements came to be? An education specialist with NASA, John Weiss, came to discuss exactly how you have a connection to those very elements.
My favorite part of this talk is just the idea that so many of the elements that we take for granted actually come from previous stars. So we know that because we're here, our star is not what we call a first-generation star, that another star had to die for us to be here.
And with such a broad topic, students were able to learn a variety of things from theories of the origins of space to space exploration itself.
It was interesting to know that everything pretty much came from the stars, because I didn't have any clue about that.
And I also thought it was interesting how big our galaxy is and how much they have mapped out.
And if you grew up dreaming about astronauts and NASA, we says that no matter your major, you too have the possibility of working at one of the most recognized space programs.
Remember that there is a place for you at NASA no matter what your major is. We actually have employees in everything, every major that Troy has. We have people that do that at NASA.
But even if your future may not consist of space exploration, college can be a time to learn new things inside and outside your major's department.
I actually think that if there's an opportunity to better educate yourself, no matter the department, if you're available and you can, you should definitely take advantage of that. Troy University does a great job of providing opportunities for you to have a well-rounded education, and that's very important.
Lauren Harkson, Troy, Trojan Vision News.
We'll take a short break, but when we return, we'll see how Valentine's Day was celebrated here on campus. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
There's a Trojan warrior spirit that distinguishes Troy from the rest of American higher education. From the day a student enrolls at Troy, they become part of the Trojan family. It's very much the philosophy of the institution that we know our students by name and not by number. We help our students find where their strengths lie and offer them academic programs that are superb and will prepare them for successful careers.
Got a quarter?
Now back to Troy Trojan Vision News Weekly.
Wednesday was Valentine's Day, which for many meant finding that perfect present for their significant other. And there were quite a few student groups who were taking advantage of that demand by offering up some options to help with their fundraising efforts. Summer Leach gives us a look.
On Tuesday, students had the opportunity to visit different fundraisers held by organizations on campus for Valentine's Day. One member of Kappa Pi discusses her fundraiser that has a unique twist.
Well, everybody likes balloons on Valentine's Day. It's really cute, and one of the staples of Valentine's Day is the conversation hearts. which are those little candies that you get that say you're cute or like hug me or whatever. And so I found these balloons with those sayings on them, and I figured it'd be really cute if we could sell those with little like suckers or candies.
The fundraisers aren't just about Valentine's Day. They are also to help the organizations get necessary funds for future events.
The Valentine's fundraiser that we're doing is helping us by kind of just getting us money for the club so that way we can do different events like Taco Tuesday, Taco Night, and just kind of other things. We're looking at possibly getting a square reader to help kind of do some other things, because I know not a lot of college students carry cash, and so being able to swipe a debit or credit card would kind of be more of an appeal to some people probably.
And when asked what their favorite part about Valentine's Day is, students had this to say.
Has to be the Chick-fil-A $10 heart box of chicken biscuits. So good, sweet.
My favorite part about Valentine's Day is even if you're single, like, you can really get into having fun with your friends. Like, there's Galentine's Day, there's the day after Valentine's Day when all the chocolate goes on sale.
My favorite part is actually the day after Valentine's, where all the candy goes on like 50% off, because who doesn't like half off candy?
I'm Summer Leach, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Valentine's Day is the time of year that puts the spotlight on relationships, and whether or not Cupid is successful in helping you find a mate, having a healthy relationship may eventually be your goal. Well, this week, Trojan Outreach was helping students learn about healthy relationship habits. Shantia Wilson shows us how.
On Valentine's Day, gifts like candied hearts and stuffed bears are used to express that you love someone. But Wednesday, Trojan Outreach encouraged students to find ways to love themselves.
Today we've got this cute little chalkboard, and we're asking people to come up and give encouraging words to others about how to love yourself. It is so important to love yourself even before you get in another relationship with someone else, because you really can't love that other person until you love yourself.
Trojan Outreach gave students the opportunity to enter a free raffle and gave out information on how to form healthy relationships.
And if you are in a relationship, you want to be healthy, because if you are in a toxic relationship, there's just going to be a bunch of problems that are going to come up that can just lead to different disasters, whether that is breaking up, suicide, just different things like that.
Students were able to share special ways to celebrate without a significant other.
So different people have put different things on the chalkboard, things like learn to say no, spoil yourself sometimes, go out, buy ice cream. Just take into account your needs and who you are first.
Shantia Wilson, Troy, TrojanVision News.
And if cuddling up to a Valentine that walks on two legs isn't your thing, Chi Omega had a cute and fuzzy option available. The sorority offered a chance to get some smooches from some pooches. Anna Kate Patterson has all the adorable action.
Many students may not have had a Valentine Wednesday, but who needs a Valentine when you have a Valen pup? The Chi Omega sorority held its second Smooches for Pooches this Valentine's Day, allowing students to hold and play with puppies and even adopt if they found their one true love.
I think it's $50 to adopt a puppy, which is not much compared to pet stores, which is, hundreds to thousands of dollars. And these puppies need homes more, so.
All the proceeds from the event went to the Troy Animal Rescue Project, which is currently home to over 200 potential pets.
I brought the puppies here today. It's $2 to pet them. We're looking for homes for them, adoptions.
And Kilpatrick says that students who want smooches from these pooches every day are encouraged to volunteer.
You just come to the shelter. We'll have a waiver form for you to sign. You get community service hours. And you also get to pet and play with the puppies, and who don't love that?
Freshman Natalie Wills worked at a dog kennel and vet in her hometown for 8 years. And because of this event, has found where she will be spending much of her time here in Troy.
I've been looking for a place to volunteer, and I figured that this will be perfect because they are a no-kill facility, which means I would definitely be willing to put my time into it.
All dogs adopted from the Troy Animal Rescue Project come spayed or neutered and ready for a forever home. Anna Kate Patterson, Troy, TrojanVision News.
Someone suffering from arthritis in their hands might find it difficult to hold a pencil or a pen. However, some Troy University students were using those writing instruments to help raise awareness of the disease. Lauren Hartson has the details.
On Thursday, while some students were writing notes in class, others were writing out arthritis. Troy's newest sorority, Alpha Omicron Pi, had their first philanthropy week, and its main on-campus event helps to raise awareness about arthritis.
Part of our philanthropy week is write out arthritis, and on a sheet of paper for $1, you get to write someone that you know, or like a family member, or even yourself if you're affected by arthritis, and you put it in our O of Omicron, and it's a way for us to get it out there, to get awareness out.
One supporter of AOPI's Philanthropy Week expresses his passion for events that raise awareness and funds to help others.
It's good to just help out with people in the community, help out people who are suffering through like everything, especially with the arthritis. In general, it's a really good idea to have philanthropy events to raise money to either find a cure or just help somebody out that's in need.
The AOPI sisters say that getting the word out about arthritis is important because it doesn't only affect one age group, and to many people's surprise, it's not uncommon for young people to be affected.
I think it's interesting to be able to see all the people that are affected here at Troy, and there's even people like within our sorority, within like the Panhellenic community, let alone everybody else that is affected by it.
Actually, last year my grandmother found out that she had arthritis really, really bad in her spine, and that she was going to have surgery or she wouldn't be able to walk. And so after that, it was just heavy on my heart, and that I really wanted to do something to help spread that awareness because she didn't even know about it. She didn't know much about it until it happened to her.
To show support of arthritis awareness, the sisters also gave out blue ribbons, the color of the disease, to get people talking.
We're going to take another quick break, but when we come back, we'll see how Troy University faculty and staff got a little taste of Finland.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day I found out I have something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Now back to Troy Trojan Vision News Weekly.
Many students who attend college might think the idea of traveling abroad could be far-fetched. However, this week Troy University held its Spring Study Abroad Fair for all Troy students to show it's easier than they might think. Seth Hawk has the details.
Troy University is known as Alabama's international university due to the amount of international flair on campus. And Tuesday afternoon, Troy students got to see how they could broaden their horizons at the Spring Study Abroad Fair. According to the coordinator of studying abroad, Sarah McKenzie, the chances of getting a job after college graduation go nowhere but up once a student goes abroad.
97% of students who study abroad get a job within their major, within their degree, within a year of graduating. 90% of students who study abroad get into their first or second choice of graduate schools.
Whether your chosen destination is Argentina or China, one thing is for certain. According to McKenzie, not only will you increase your chances of getting a job after college, but you will grow as an individual.
Personally, from a study abroad experience, you can expect to gain confidence. You can learn flexibility and adaptability. These are all important things in the job market, in the working world, because you're going to have to display those things to your employer.
And even if you are an upperclassman, it is never too late to go abroad. And according to Troy senior Victoria Mixon, who is heading to Argentina over the summer, she has a lot to be excited about.
I'm just excited to jump right in there and just start talking in Spanish because, over here we speak English all the time, so I think going over there and just being able to just talk just completely in Spanish would be a great opportunity.
For more information on studying abroad, you can visit Mackenzie's office in Hawkins Hall or send her an email at troyabroad@troy.edu. Seth Hawk, Troy, Trojan Vision News.
While Troy University is known as Alabama's international university, this week it became known for some international cuisine. Troy Dining welcomed a visiting chef from Finland to share some of his native tastes. Chelsea Law has the story.
Wednesday afternoon, Troy faculty and staff members got to enjoy a meal prepared by a Finnish chef that had majority of them finishing their plates. Chef Lassi Henninen was on Troy's campus showing off his culinary skills through a global culinary program that Sodexo and Troy University uses.
It's an internal program to where folks will apply for the global chef positions, and through our resources, our resource team, they'll pick and choose which accounts. A lot of times it's just a luck of the draw of who we actually are able to grab.
Some of the items that were on the menu, such as venison, may be familiar but not readily available in a restaurant. Others were items that you may find every day on both an American and Finnish plate.
You know, I think a lot of it is when you look at a geographical area like Finland, it's a lot of comfort foods. It's a lot of heavier foods. There's a lot of mashed potatoes, a lot of root vegetables, which is native to their land. So we see a lot of that here.
One of the favorite dishes amongst the guests was...
It's a close tie between the venison and the salmon, but the soup was amazing.
Probably the mushroom soup.
If you missed out on the dish and want to try it, or if you're craving some more of it, then Chef Bilbo may have some good news for you.
No, we definitely want to introduce them back onto the menu, now that especially as he's been able to showcase and folks can put a face to a name, that as we run his Wild Forest mushroom soup, we'll definitely disclose that it's Chef Lassi, our global chef, and we'll try and run it, well, we'll definitely run it for 12 months, maybe even longer, as long as the acceptability factor is there. Folks are still enjoying that great product.
The next global chef has yet to be chosen, but faculty and staff members will still be able to dine in and hopefully enjoy a meal by our on-campus chefs. Chelsea Law, Troy, Trojan Vision News.
Laissez le bon temps rouler is a French phrase often associated with Mardi Gras, translated as let the good times roll. And the bon temps were rolling international style as ISCO decided to bring some Mardi Gras themed fun to campus. Paige Weeks has the story.
Mardi Gras might not be here just yet, but Troy University's International Student Cultural Organization got the party started a little early. ISCO decided to shake things up a bit by learning about Mardi Gras and by participating in some of its popular activities.
Everyone can just understand, there might be some things that originate, as a holiday really, and it can turn into something that's just a good time to get together and become cultured about different things as well.
Although some American students may have an idea of what Mardi Gras is about, for some this event was their first ever Mardi Gras experience.
The origins of Mardi Gras are based off of kind of role reversal, the poor being the rich for the day, the rich being the poor for the day. So I think just kind of learning to break free of inhibition and have fun.
One student in particular enjoyed ISCO's Mardi Gras celebration even more than one he had been to in New Orleans.
I came here tonight, so I know what kind of Mardi Gras is. It's kind of like a carnival for to celebrate the religious things. So I learned a lot.
Mardi Gras won't be the only event that ISCO will be celebrating this semester. Just next week there will be the Chinese New Year celebration, the Vietnamese New Year celebration, as well as Brazil Night. Students were able to decorate king cakes, a popular Mardi Gras dessert, dress up for pictures, as well as play some Mardi Gras inspired games. Paige Weeks, Troy, Trojan Vision News.
Well, it's time for our last break. When we return, we'll learn about this year's Journalism Symposium at Troy University. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
What if you could invest in the future of kids, like a stock? Not the kind of stock that's about making money, but a stock for social change. A whole new kind of investment called Better Futures. When you invest, it helps kids go to college. Believe in us, invest in us, watch us grow. My name is Sydney, and I'm your dividend.
The warrior spirit. It's in there. Always has been. Now let it out and take the world by fire. Train well and learn what it means to be a Troy Trojan. Walk with confidence, conquer, claim territory, and climb ladders. Know that you have the power to stand alone, but the comfort of knowing that you'll never have to. Discover your inner warrior. Find it at troy.edu/spirit.
Now back to Troy Trojan Vision News Weekly.
Troy's Hall School of Journalism and Communication will hold its annual symposium next week. We'll learn more about this year's symposium in this week's Trojan Talk. Hello and welcome to Trojan Talk. I'm your host, Aaron Taylor. My guest today is Steve Stewart with the Hall School of Journalism and Communication. We're here to talk about this year's Journalism Symposium. Steve, thanks for joining me here today.
So, thank you, Aaron. Glad to be here.
And we are talking about the Troy University's Journalism Symposium. So if you will, kind of give us, for those who don't know about it, a little bit of background on the symposium and what it means.
The Journalism Symposium is an annual event. We have it during the spring semester every year. It's open to the public, particularly to our students, but everybody's invited. We'd love to encourage everybody who's interested to come. The symposium explores issues related to journalism, politics, and the media, and it's named for Stan Evans, M. Stanton Evans. Stan was one of our longtime faculty members, and he was a nationally prominent journalist.
And so, through that, you bring traditionally speakers or other individuals to campus to kind of talk about various topics relating to the world of journalism, although, you know, some of the speakers have kind of, you know, over the years have kind of run the gamut of different types of lectures broader here. But this year we're bringing a journalist and an alumnus here to campus. So,
right.
So talk a little about this year's symposium.
Our speaker this year is Craig Pittman, who is an investigative reporter and specifically an environmental reporter for the Tampa Bay Times, which is one of the largest newspapers in Florida. It's a newspaper of national renown, and he covers environment and does investigative work. Has covered the Florida legislature. He is, as you said, a graduate of Troy University. It was Troy State University at the time. Craig was an active student journalist with the Metropolitan, and there was another student newspaper at that time too. He worked with them, and he did some interesting journalism back then, and made a difference in what he did.
And how important is it, in your opinion, to be able to bring an alumnus to campus so students get a chance to kind of see someone that was at their level and has succeeded and moved on to greater things?
I think that's quite important. I think it helps students see the route from where they are here now to success in the field, and it helps them to see what they can do here while they're on campus to prepare them for that future career. And what they need to do to prepare includes working for the student media like Craig did with TrojanVision and the Metropolitan and the Palladium, other student media.
And of course, you know, we talk about the students there, but you did mention that the public is welcome to attend, and so there's a lot that maybe the public would like to know a little bit more about the media and what goes on, especially nowadays. Media is a hot topic out there, and being able to kind of maybe open the curtains a little bit and show us what's going on behind the scenes, maybe something that the public might be interested in as well.
That's right. He's going to talk about something. His topic is how you can be the most destructive force on campus. Now, what he means by that is how you can make a difference as a journalist. And the word destructive is a word that was applied to him by some of his critics when he was a student journalist here. He's obviously, our journalists don't want to be destructive, but we have to tell the truth, and sometimes that causes other people to look at that as being destructive.
And especially, one might say, without getting too political here, that in the current environment, there's a lot of negativity towards the media and whether or not they really are being destructive. And so one might feel that through this symposium, students, public, and everyone might have a better idea of maybe the goal of how to kind of shape that and get into that position.
Right. Journalists want to be constructive in the sense that we want to bring out the truth, whatever that may show, and help people to deal with it and make improvements where necessary. President Harry Truman, this was a political statement, but you could put it in this context without being political. He said, my critics accuse me of giving people hell. He said, I'm not giving them hell, I'm just telling the truth, and they think it's hell.
And so, and that's there, talking about destructive, but also, you know, the opportunity for students to kind of see someone, once again, at the professional level who succeeded. And even, you know, I know he probably has the topic laid out about being a destructive journalist, but, you know, seeing someone who is very specific as an environmental journalist, you know, and an opportunity for maybe someone to see how they can maybe fine-tune their journalistic skills, because there are opportunities for students to interact with Pittman while he's here to kind of pick his brain and see where he got it today.
That's correct. We're going to have an event in the afternoon for students where they can come in and talk with him, ask questions, and have an informal discussion. That'll be in addition to the symposium, which is in the morning.
All right, well, let's talk about the symposium, when and where it is for anybody who's interested in going.
The symposium will be in our Student Center, the Trojan Center, at 10 o'clock on Monday, February 19th.
All right,
on the Troy campus.
On the Troy campus, and it is open to the public.
It's open to the public.
Students are welcome. The public is welcome. Journalism students should be there, as part of their coursework. But an opportunity to see an alumnus who has moved on to bigger and better things and be able to teach his lessons to the students here at Troy University. Steve, thanks for joining me here today.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us on today's edition of Trojan Talk. And that's what happened on the second week of February 2018. To find out what's happening throughout the week, you can tune into Troy TrojanVision News at 5, 6:30, and 10:30 Monday through Friday, or anytime by following us on Twitter at Troy TV News. Also, feel free to like our Troy TrojanVision News fan page on Facebook to see online content from Troy TrojanVision News. We hope you join us again next week for another edition of Troy TrojanVision Weekly. Have a good week.